For decades, the fitness industry has been lying to you. They've sold you on the idea that you need a different, convoluted workout for every single tiny muscle, a supplement for every meal, and a gym membership that looks more like a spaceship control panel than a place to get strong. You've been led to believe that building muscle is a complex puzzle requiring endless hours, isolation exercises, and the latest scientific breakthrough that always seems to cost another $50. What if I told you that almost everything you've been told about building muscle is not just slightly wrong, but fundamentally flawed? What if the secret to building an impressive, powerful physique isn't found in the latest fitness fad or the most obscure bicep exercise, but in going back to the absolute basics, to the fundamental movements that the human body was engineered to perform? The truth is, you don't need to spend 2 hours in the gym 7 days a week. You don't need to memorize 100 different exercises. In fact, doing too much can often be the very thing holding you back from the results you deserve. The real path to transformative muscle growth is shockingly simple, brutally hard work, but structurally straightforward. It revolves around a concept known as progressive overload on multi-joint, compound movements. This isn't a new age secret, it's the foundational principle that every single massively muscular and strong individual in history, from the old-time strongmen to the modern-day bodybuilders, has used as their cornerstone. They just didn't have a million distractions and misinformation campaigns clouding their focus. The entire premise of this video is to cut through that noise, to erase the confusion, and to give you the only blueprint you will ever need. That blueprint consists of just 6 exercises. Not 6 exercises per day, not 6 exercises per body part, but 6 total exercises that, when performed with consistency, intensity, and a relentless focus on getting stronger, will build more muscle across your entire body than any other program you have ever tried. This is not about aesthetics alone, this is about building a functional, resilient, and powerful body. It's about being able to move real weight in real-world patterns. It's about feeling as strong as you look. So, if you're tired of spinning your wheels, if you're frustrated with lackluster results, and if you're ready to embrace a simpler, more effective path, then you are in the right place. Forget every workout plan you've ever seen. Clear your mind. We are starting from scratch, with a foundation built on iron and truth. The first of these 6 foundational movements is the one that is arguably the most important exercise in all of human performance, the squat. The squat is often called the king of exercises for a reason. It doesn't just build your legs, it builds your entire body. When you perform a heavy squat, you are engaging your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves, your entire core including your abdominals and lower back, and even your upper back to stabilize the bar. The systemic demand it places on your body is so immense that it triggers a hormonal response, releasing testosterone and growth hormone, which are essential for muscle growth everywhere, not just your legs. The key to making the squat work for you is not just going through the motions, it's about mastering the form and then adding weight over time. You start by learning the pattern with just your body weight, then perhaps with a light PVC pipe, then an empty barbell, and then you begin the journey of adding small amounts of weight each week. This is progressive overload in its purest form. The goal is to get stronger in the 5 to 8 rep range, ensuring the weight is challenging enough to stimulate muscle growth. Depth is non-negotiable, you must descend until your hip crease is below your knee, as this ensures full engagement of the muscle fibers and builds functional strength and mobility. The second exercise is its perfect counterpart, the deadlift. If the squat is the king, the deadlift is the queen. This is the ultimate test of raw strength. It's you versus the weight on the floor. There are no eccentric or lowering phases to help you, it's a pure, concentric, grind-it-off-the-floor manifestation of power. The deadlift builds a back like no other exercise. It hammers your entire posterior chain, your spinal erectors, your lats, your traps, your glutes, and your hamstrings. It forges grip strength that is almost superhuman and builds a core that is like a suit of armor. Much like the squat, the form is critical. You are not lifting with your back, you are bracing your core, setting your lats, and driving through your heels as you push the world away from you. You stand up tall with the weight, lock out your hips and knees, and then control the descent. Starting light is paramount to ingraining perfect technique. The deadlift is the most potent exercise for overall mass and density, and when combined with the squat, it creates a 1-2 punch that will reshape your entire lower body and posterior musculature. This is the foundation. This is where true strength and size are born. Now that we've established the non-negotiable foundation of the lower body with the squat and the deadlift, it's time to move upwards and address the upper body with the same philosophy of efficiency and raw effectiveness. The third exercise on our list of 6 is the bench press. This is the classic measure of upper body strength for a reason. The bench press is the primary builder of the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps. It's a compound movement that allows you to move significant amounts of weight, creating the mechanical tension and muscle damage necessary for growth. But just like with the squat and deadlift, technique is everything. It's not about just lying down and pushing the bar up, it's about creating a stable base by retracting your shoulder blades, driving your feet into the floor to create full body tension, and lowering the bar with control to your lower chest before pressing it back up in a powerful, deliberate arc. Many people make the mistake of flaring their elbows out, which puts immense stress on the shoulder joint and reduces the involvement of the prime movers. By keeping your elbows at about a 45 to 60 degree angle from your body, you protect your shoulders and ensure the pectoral muscles are doing the majority of the work. The goal, again, is progressive overload. Once you can comfortably perform a set of 8 reps with a given weight, it's time to add a small increment, perhaps just 2.5 pounds to each side, the next time you train. This constant, gradual increase in stress is the signal your body needs to adapt, and adaptation in this context means building new muscle tissue. The fourth essential movement is the overhead press, also known as the shoulder press or strict press. While the bench press builds the horizontal pushing muscles, the overhead press builds vertical pushing strength. This is a truly foundational human movement, the ability to press weight overhead. It primarily develops the deltoid muscles of your shoulders, but it also heavily engages your triceps, your upper chest, and your core, which has to work incredibly hard to stabilize your torso and prevent your lower back from overarching. The overhead press builds strong, rounded, cannonball delts that are a hallmark of a powerful physique. The key to a successful overhead press is a tight core and a proud chest. You stand with your feet roughly shoulder-width apart, grip the bar just outside your shoulders, and take a big breath into your belly, bracing your abs as if you're about to be punched. You then press the bar directly overhead, pushing your head forward slightly as the bar passes your face to achieve a full lockout with the bar directly over the middle of your foot. It's a deceptively simple movement that reveals its complexity and difficulty the first time you try it with a challenging weight. It teaches full body stability and raw pressing power like no other exercise. Many people neglect the overhead press in favor of more bench pressing, but this is a critical mistake. A well-developed upper body is not complete without the strength and musculature that only the overhead press can provide. It improves your posture, builds formidable shoulder strength, and contributes to a complete and balanced physique. Together, the bench press and the overhead press cover the entire spectrum of upper body pushing. One is horizontal, one is vertical, and they complement each other perfectly, ensuring that every pushing muscle fiber from your chest to your shoulders to your triceps is being stimulated for growth. This logical pairing is a core tenet of this minimalist approach. Every exercise has a distinct and vital role, and there is no redundancy. You are not doing 5 different exercises for your chest, you are doing one, the very best one, and you are getting profoundly strong at it. You are not doing endless shoulder raises, you are pressing heavy weight overhead, which builds the foundational mass, and then the smaller accessory muscles are brought into play as stabilizers. This efficiency is your greatest asset. It allows you to channel all your energy, your recovery resources, and your mental focus into mastering and progressing in these fundamental movements. The results from focusing on just these 4 exercises so far, the squat, deadlift, bench press, and overhead press, would be enough to far surpass the results most people achieve with far more complicated routines. But we are not done yet. We have 2 more exercises to add to complete the human movement puzzle and ensure we are building a truly symmetrical and balanced physique from head to toe. We have covered the 4 pillars, the squat for legs, the deadlift for the posterior chain, the bench press for horizontal pushing, and the overhead press for vertical pushing. This addresses a massive amount of muscle mass, but there are two crucial movement patterns we are missing: pulling vertically and pulling horizontally. The human body is designed not just to push things away, but also to pull things toward us. To build a balanced, healthy, and aesthetically pleasing physique, we must train our back with the same intensity and focus that we train our chest and shoulders. A strong back is the foundation of good posture, it prevents shoulder injuries, and it creates that coveted V-taper that makes your waist look smaller and your upper body look larger. The fifth exercise, therefore, is the pull-up. The pull-up is the ultimate test of relative upper body strength, your strength in relation to your own body weight. It is the king of vertical pulling exercises. It primarily targets the latissimus dorsi, the large, wing-like muscles on the sides of your back, but it also heavily works your biceps, your rear delts, your traps, and your entire forearm complex. Nothing builds a wide, impressive back like the pull-up. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, "But I can't do a pull-up." That is perfectly okay, and it's a starting point for almost everyone. The journey to your first pull-up is one of the most rewarding journeys in fitness. You start with negative reps, where you jump up to the top position and lower yourself down as slowly and controlled as possible. You can use resistance bands for assistance, or use a lat pull-down machine to build the strength. The key is to practice the movement pattern consistently. Once you can do one, you work on doing two, and then three, and so on. The goal is to add reps over time, which is another form of progressive overload. If you can do weighted pull-ups, that's even better. Strapping a weight around your waist and performing pull-ups is one of the most effective mass builders for the entire upper body. The sixth and final exercise in our foundational 6 is the bent-over row. This is the horizontal pull to complement the bench press's horizontal push. While the pull-up builds width in your back, the bent-over row builds thickness. It targets the middle and lower traps, the rhomboids, the rear delts, and again, the lats and biceps. A well-developed back from heavy rows looks powerful and dense from the side, and it is critical for shoulder health and postural balance. The form for the bent-over row is simple but must be executed with precision. You hinge at your hips, keeping your back straight and torso roughly parallel to the floor. You then pull the barbell towards your lower chest or upper abdomen, squeezing your shoulder blades together at the top of the movement. You avoid using momentum by keeping your torso stationary. The power should come from your back muscles, not from a jerking motion of your entire body. There are different variations, such as the pendlay row where you touch the bar to the floor between each rep to eliminate momentum, or the Yates row with a more upright torso, but the principle remains the same: pull a heavy weight towards you using the muscles of your back. And there you have it. The only 6 exercises you need to build muscle: the squat, the deadlift, the bench press, the overhead press, the pull-up, and the bent-over row. This covers every fundamental human movement pattern: squatting, hinging, horizontal pushing, vertical pulling, and horizontal pulling. This is a complete, balanced, and brutally effective training system. With just these 6 movements, you are stimulating every major muscle group in your body in the most efficient way possible. There is no need for leg extensions, cable crossovers, lateral raises, or bicep curls if you are a beginner or intermediate trainee. Those isolation exercises have their place for advanced bodybuilders focusing on specific details, but for the vast majority of people seeking to build a significant amount of muscle, they are a distraction from the core work that actually produces results. By focusing exclusively on these 6 lifts, you reduce decision fatigue, you can track your progress with absolute clarity, and you ensure that the majority of your time and energy in the gym is spent on the high-value activities that yield the highest return on investment. Your workout structure becomes incredibly simple. You could perform all 6 lifts in one full-body session, 2 or 3 times a week. Or you could split them into an upper body day and a lower body day. The specific programming can be tailored, but the ingredients never change. These 6 exercises are your ingredients for a powerful, muscular physique. Now that you have the blueprint, the 6 foundational exercises, the critical question becomes, how do you actually implement this? Knowing what to do is only half the battle, the other half is executing it consistently with the right principles in place. The first and most important principle is progressive overload. This is not just a fancy term, it is the fundamental law of muscle growth. It simply means that to get bigger and stronger, you must consistently make your muscles work harder than they are accustomed to. If you walk into the gym every week and lift the exact same weight for the exact same number of reps, your body has absolutely no reason to change. It has already adapted to that level of stress. The stimulus for growth comes from gradually increasing the demands on your musculoskeletal system. There are several ways to achieve this, and the simplest one, especially for beginners, is to add weight to the bar. Let's say this week you squat 185 pounds for 3 sets of 5 reps, next week, your goal should be to squat 190 pounds for 3 sets of 5 reps, that 5-pound increase is the overload. It's a small, manageable stress that signals to your body, we need to be stronger to handle this. You continue this process for as long as you possibly can. When adding weight becomes impossible, you can then look at adding reps. If you can't go from 185 to 190, maybe you stay at 185 but aim for 3 sets of 6 or 7 reps instead of 5. Once you hit that new rep target consistently, you try to add weight again. Another method is to increase the number of sets, or to decrease the rest time between sets. The simplest and most recommended path is to focus on adding small increments of weight to the bar on a weekly basis. This is known as linear progression, and it is the most powerful tool for a natural trainee. The second principle is consistency. You cannot build a mansion on a foundation of sand. Showing up to the gym once every 2 weeks and going through the motions will yield nothing. You must commit to a schedule, whether it's 3 days a week or 4, and you must stick to it religiously. The magic doesn't happen in one epic workout, it happens in the accumulation of hundreds of good, solid, consistent workouts over months and years. Your body adapts to a repeated stimulus, so providing that stimulus on a predictable schedule is key. The third principle is intensity. This doesn't mean screaming and grunting on every rep. In the context of training, intensity refers to how close you are lifting to your momentary maximum capability. If you can bench press 200 pounds for 1 rep, then a set of 5 reps with 160 pounds is a high-intensity set. The last couple of reps should be challenging. You should be reaching a point of momentary muscular failure, or very close to it, on your working sets. This is where the real growth stimulus occurs, when you push past your comfort zone and force your muscles to recruit more muscle fibers and handle a load they find diff. This is hard, uncomfortable work, and it's why most people don't grow, they simply don't push hard enough. They stop the set when it gets difficult, not when they truly cannot complete another rep with good form. The fourth principle is recovery. You do not grow in the gym, you grow outside of it. When you train, you are creating microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. It is during the rest period, especially when you sleep, that your body repairs these tears, building them back stronger and larger than before. If you are not sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night, you are severely hampering your progress. If you are not eating enough protein and overall calories to support muscle growth, you are robbing yourself of results. Training provides the stimulus, but nutrition and sleep provide the building blocks for the results. You cannot out-train a bad diet and poor sleep. Think of it like this, your workout is the blueprint for a new house, and your nutrition and sleep are the bricks and mortar. Without the materials, the blueprint remains just an idea. Finally, the fifth principle is patience. Building a significant amount of muscle is a slow process. It takes years, not weeks or months. You will not look like a bodybuilder in 90 days. You must fall in love with the process itself, the feeling of getting stronger, the satisfaction of completing a hard set, the discipline of sticking to your plan. The physical changes will come, but they will come gradually. Track your strength gains in the gym. If the number on the bar is going up over the long term, you are building muscle, regardless of what the mirror says on a day-to-day basis. By combining these 5 principles, progressive overload, consistency, intensity, recovery, and patience. With the 6 foundational exercises, you have a complete system for success. This is the formula that has stood the test of time, free from gimmicks and hype. Let's bring this all together and talk about what a sample week of training could look like using these 6 exercises. Remember, the goal is to train each movement pattern multiple times per week to provide frequent stimuli for growth. A full-body workout, performed 3 times a week on non-consecutive days, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is an incredibly effective way to start. On each day, you would perform a variation of all the main movement patterns. For instance, on Monday, you might do squats, bench press, and bent over rows. On Wednesday, you could focus on deadlifts, overhead press, and pull ups. Then on Friday, you're back to squats, bench press, and bent over rows, but aiming to lift slightly heavier or for more reps than you did on Monday. The following week, you would rotate the emphasis, ensuring all lifts are trained with adequate volume over the course of the week. Another popular and effective split is an upper/lower split. You would train 4 days a week. On lower body day 1, you would focus on squats as your main lift, followed by accessory work, but since we're keeping it to 6 exercises, it could just be squats and then some lighter deadlift variation like Romanian deadlifts to focus on the hamstrings. On upper body day 1, you would do bench press and bent over rows. On lower body day 2, you would focus on deadlifts as your main lift, followed by a lighter squat variation like front squats. On upper body day 2, you would do overhead press and pull ups. This structure allows you to train each movement pattern twice a week with a higher volume per session. The exact structure is less important than the consistent application of the principles we discussed. Whether you choose a full body or an upper/lower split, the key is that you are tracking your performance in these 6 lifts and striving to improve them week after week, month after month. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What about arms? What about calves? What about abs? This is a common concern, but the truth is, these 6 exercises work those muscles extensively. Your triceps are massively involved in the bench press and the overhead press. Your biceps are crucial in all the pulling movements, the pull-ups and the bent over rows. If you are progressively overloading your bench press and your overhead press, your triceps will grow. If you are adding weight or reps to your pull-ups and rows, your biceps will grow. Your abs and entire core are worked isometrically in every single one of these lifts. They brace during the squat, they stabilize during the deadlift, they prevent your spine from flexing during the bench press and rows, and they are under tremendous tension during the overhead press. You are training your core with heavy weights, which is far more effective for building a strong, visible midsection than doing endless crunches. As for calves, they are involved in the squat and deadlift, but if you have specific lagging calves, you can add one isolation exercise like standing calf raises at the end of your workouts. The point is, it's not that isolation work is evil, it's that it is secondary. Your primary focus, 95% of your energy, should be on getting stronger in these 6 compound movements. That is where the vast majority of your muscle growth will come from. This approach requires a shift in mindset. You are no longer going to the gym to feel the burn or to pump up a specific muscle. You are going to the gym to get stronger at fundamental human movements. You are an athlete training for performance, and the physique is a welcome side effect of that performance. This mindset is liberating. It gives you a clear, objective goal every single session: be better than last time. Lift more weight, or do more reps, than you did before. This clarity eliminates confusion and fuels motivation. You are on a tangible journey of self-improvement, and the results will speak for themselves in the form of added plates on the bar, added inches on your arms and chest, and added confidence in your everyday life. You are building a body that is not just for show, but one that is capable, resilient, and powerful. You are stepping away from the chaos of modern fitness and embracing the timeless principles of strength. So, the call to action is simple. Stop overcomplicating it. Stop jumping from program to program. Pick a simple schedule, whether it's the full body 3 days a week or the upper/lower 4 days a week. Master the form of these 6 exercises with light weight. Film yourself, watch tutorials, and if possible, get a qualified coach to check your form. Then, embark on the journey of progressive overload. Start a training log either in a notebook or on your phone, and track every single workout. Your goal for the next 6 months is simple: get stronger in the squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, pull-up, and bent-over row. That is your entire focus. Commit to this process for a minimum of 3 months without deviation. Give it your all, prioritize your sleep and nutrition, and you will experience muscle growth like never before. This is the truth that has been hidden in plain sight. The power to transform your body is in your hands, and it starts with these 6 exercises. Now, it's your turn. The information is here. The blueprint is clear. The only question that remains is, do you have the discipline to see it through?